everybody, and thanks for tuning in to the Stringfellow podcast. This week is February 3rd, 2025, and this week I wanted to talk about kind of a heated topic, something that people have a lot of strong opinions on, especially tech people, but even a lot of business people care a lot about this, and so I'm going to kind of try to compare and contrast Microsoft 365 and Google Workspace. So what am I talking about here? This is basically the software that runs your company. So this is like your email, this is your word processing, your spreadsheets, your database, all the different things that you use are either going to be all in Microsoft or all in Google. And so this is just where we are in 2025. You could probably try to spin up your own Podc or SMTP servers, but you should never ever do that because you will not have the manpower and the staff like Microsoft and Google do to be able and protect your server. So what's the big difference? I mean, like, what's the big deal? Like, why would one matter more than the other? Well, I've used both. So I used Google Workspace for a long time with my old company, and it worked fine. It used to be free, and I think that's why they have the market share that they do, is for the longest time, up to a certain number of users, Google Workspace was free 99, free as in free. And you could just sign up and assign your custom domain, and then you could have, it was a limited number of users. I don't remember what it was. It was like maybe 20 or something. We never got to that, but you could have a limited number of free users, and so people love that. They are no longer free. They started charging, I want to say in about 2020, kind of pulled the old bait and switch and started to charge people. And at first it really wasn't that expensive, and now it's gone up and up and up, and I want to say it's about the same price as Microsoft 365. So let's talk about Microsoft 365. So this is Microsoft's cloud productivity suite. It's now called, used to be called Office 365. Now it's Microsoft 365. And I'll say this much. I like it a lot better. So we switched over. I switched over when I came to work with Edward. And it's a lot better. Like it's what you expect. It's Microsoft Word. It's Microsoft Excel. It's Outlook, all of which, by the way, are in the cloud these days. Yes, you can use a Outlook client, like an app that you download on your PC or your Mac or your phone or your tablet, but they're all in the cloud as well, so you can just check them from a browser. And believe it or not, Word and Excel, the two probably most popular, pieces of software in those suites, are really, really good in a web browser. Like they have all of the same functionality that you can get. It is still nice to just have the client running on your machine and have files that you download. But at the end of the day, everything should be up in OneDrive, your personal OneDrive, or if you're working with a team, it should be in Teams. And so everything should be up in the cloud. So you've got those two pieces of software, and they are, they're going to be great for whatever you need to do. Okay, you need to write a letter, great. You need to look at a contract, fantastic. You need to look at some numbers, export them out. You're going to need Excel. And so it's kind of the way to go. So why do people still use Google? Well, for one, like I said, they used to be free. So they're probably just in the Google ecosystem and they don't know how to change, or they don't want to change, or maybe they still think it's a little bit less than Microsoft, or maybe they got some personal qualm with Microsoft to where they don't like them. I think Google has made some updates to their security and their privacy. You're getting free email, which they did for a long time. You got to wonder, if something's free, you're the product, right? So there was an old joke about the Gmail man, and he was going around and he was just reading everybody's mail before he handed them to them. And I always think about that with Google. It's like, do you really have privacy? And for a person, that's really important. For a business, that's even more important. So, Google has got that kind of against them. And in my mind, you might be able to go in there and lock that down, but you might not. So, Microsoft has got a huge suite of data governance tools where you can go in there and say who has access to what. Third parties, apps, things like that have access. You can even lock it down so that your users can't give apps access to their file or the email. They can't install plugins basically, or they can't use their login for any other thing. So that's really cool. But I mean, from the big level, you want to have a piece of software in your company, kind of like I said, running your company that's not going anywhere and that you can kind of depend on and that people are familiar with. So, a lot of people like Google and Gmail and they're used to using that for maybe their personal. And so it's like, well, maybe we'll just use it for our business too. And it's fine. And you have some controls as far as like a Google admin, but Microsoft 365 is where it's at. And then finally, the last piece I'll mention is the fact that all of the computers that people use in companies are more likely than not going to be Windows PCs or Macs. And those are going to work great with your Microsoft 365 suite, especially Microsoft 365. So Windows PCs, Microsoft 365, like you can just imagine those go together really well. It gives you a lot more options as far as locking it down, what systems can have access to the email. They got conditional access and things like that, where even if you have the username and the password and even the MFA, you still cannot log into a user's email if, the conditional access has you locked down. So that's pretty valuable, as you can imagine, when you're talking about, business records. So, that's the thing for me. I guess Google has got their Chromebooks and you can probably do some stuff with that. Chromebooks are, I don't know. My kid uses one for school. Every time I have to touch that thing, I just cringe a little bit. Like it's not a very nice machine. I want to say you could get a Chromebook for next to nothing. I mean, they probably ought to be free. I know there's some nicer Chromebooks with some nicer screens and stuff, but they don't have a lot of resources. They don't have, a lot of nice bells and whistles like you would expect from a, nice little Windows PC. And the reason is because it's basically a web browser. I mean, the Chromebook, all it does is just Chrome. So you don't have like local storage or anything. They want you to use Google storage. You don't have like a hard drive really. I mean, you have a little hard drive, but they really want you to use Google Drive. And so I've not really ever liked that trend of just having these super lightweight little, terminals. It's almost like going back to the old school days of terminals and everything just being in the cloud. So I like to have, some stuff on my computer and some horsepower. So, if I'm working with a big spreadsheet or if I'm trying to create a video or something on my computer, it works a lot better. Having a computer with some resources and a graphics card and memory and things like that. So, but I'm also kind of a little bit of a nerd. From the business perspective, you want to have all of your employees' systems locked down. That's all there is to it. And so get a Windows PC for your business user. It's your computer as the business owner. You give that to the user and they have it. But you still have control over it. It's your, computer as the business owner. So you don't have to worry about, well, what's going on here? Who has access to this PC? Are they going to like wipe it, or is somebody, can they share something with somebody else? No, you've got it locked down, and that's the smart way to do it. So again, Microsoft 365 is clearly the winner as far as business, productivity suites go. This is my opinion from doing IT and touching a lot of different systems, seeing a lot of different environments set up over the years. And so, of course, I'm biased. I know how to fix it if it breaks. Not that it does, but I know how to set it up and configure it. And that's something we do every day. We've got thousands of endpoints for business users with Microsoft 365, and we love it. And so, if that's something that you're wondering about, maybe give us a call. See if it might be something we can do. We'll be glad to talk to you about your situation and how you're set up and how we might be able to make your employees more productive. Using some of the tools that come with Microsoft 365, like Teams and Planner and all this great stuff. So I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave them down in the comment section, and feel free to reach out. We'd love to hear what you got going on. If you totally disagree with me, by all means, let me know that, and I'll be happy to take what you say into advisement. Thanks a bunch. I appreciate you tuning in. Have a great day.